10 meters is looking okay. We're hitting a flare again. You can see there's some pretty serious aurora, and 90% chance of aurora usually means that there's some pretty good activity going on. It looks like maybe in the UK they might see a little bit, and then north. So we hit 2.8. If it continues to go, we'll probably hit X class. So interesting stuff. I'm not really doing much on the bands lately. I'm just kind of listening around. It's just not that exciting anymore for me. Like, whoever this guy is right now, I can hear him. Like, why would I want to work him? Have you ever noticed how most of the people all sound like they could be somebody else on the radio? Like there seems to be like 4 or 5 personality types on amateur radio, and only so many voice types. I definitely like looking at the band scope zoomed in more on this radio. I'm waiting for ICOM to come out with something better than this radio, and I think they will, but it's going to be a while.
That he wants to be with family, with his wife and son. So, and he's the one I used to use his 101 MT all the time over at his place. But now I rotate the whole tower from the base, and that way I don't have to worry about individual antennas. Although there is something to be said for taking individual antennas and pointing them in different directions sometimes. So there's no doubt about that. The VK2, X-Ray Z, K2DRH.
This is definitely one of the funnest bands that there is, though. I don't know what it's... Something is so much more friendly or, different about it. And the other thing that's kind of nice about 10 meters is that there's lots of 11-meter equipment as far as, like, antennas that you can get that will work on this band. Like, I have a Moonraker 4, and it's not hooked up, but it's laying on the roof. I don't have a tower. I don't have anywhere to mount it. But I took the Moonraker 4, and I just took it apart, and I made a Mako... well, actually, it's not a Moonraker. It's a Mako Shooting Star, and it's the same thing as the Moonraker 4, basically. And as long as you have extra parts, you get a free antenna like that. And you can make a couple of 3 or 4 element 10-meter beams. So I've got a 10-meter beam sitting on the roof. And it's designed after the Mako 3-element 10-meter beam. And I have a very small rotator, a TV rotator, which I do not think would work. But I do have one. Now, see, I can listen to a conversation like this and probably learn something. It's better than listening to doctor's appointments.